All right, folks, here's a big question that's on everyone's mind today. Why is it so incredibly hard to buy a house right now? Just think about it. Your grandparents could buy a house with a year or two's salary. But today? Well, that's a whole different story. So what's changed? Why are home prices sky high? And why does saving for a down payment feel like running a marathon? Let's break it down. There are three big reasons we're in this mess. First off, inflation. We hear this word a lot, but what does it mean for you? Inflation is when prices go up, but your money doesn't stretch as far. It's like trying to fill a bucket with water, but there's a hole at the bottom. Now, housing isn't immune to inflation. The cost of building materials, land, and labor has gone up. So builders pass that extra cost on to you. In cities like Austin, Texas, home prices have shot up by over 50% in a few years. The same thing is happening in London, Berlin, and Tokyo. In simple terms, when everything costs more, houses cost more too. Now let's talk about supply and demand. When more people want something than what's available, prices go up. It's that simple. Right now, more people than ever are trying to buy homes, but there just aren't enough available. Why? For one, builders slowed down after the 2008 crisis, and we haven't caught up. Second, zoning laws make it tough to build new houses in many cities. Take San Francisco. Demand is huge, but regulations keep builders from catching up and prices soar. It's the same in Tokyo, where space is limited, and in London. Even in Buenos Aires, real estate is becoming unaffordable. The bottom line is, when demand is high and supply is low, prices skyrocket. Now, let's talk about interest rates. Let's say you've saved for a down payment. Congratulations. But now you need a mortgage. The higher the interest rate, the more expensive it is to borrow money. And that means higher monthly payments. A few years ago, you could get a mortgage at 3%. Today, it's more like 7% or more. That adds hundreds, maybe thousands to your monthly payments. It makes that same house much harder to afford. This is happening everywhere. From Sydney to Paris, rising rates are making homes less affordable. And there's more. Airbnb and remote work are shaking up the market. Many people are renting their homes on Airbnb instead of selling or renting long-term. Why? Because it's more profitable. In cities like Barcelona and Amsterdam, Airbnb is taking homes off the market, pushing prices higher. Then remote work. People aren't tied to big cities anymore. They can live anywhere. This has increased demand in smaller towns, making housing prices soar even in places that used to be cheap. In simple terms, Airbnb and remote work are shrinking the housing supply while increasing demand. So, what can we take away from this? First, inflation means everything costs more, including homes. Second, supply and demand. There aren't enough houses, and when demand is high, prices rise. Third, interest rates are pushing home ownership further out of reach. Here's the simple truth. Rising prices, low supply, and high interest rates are making it harder for everyone to buy a home. It's not just happening where you live, it's a global issue. But don't lose hope. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more simple answers to tough questions. And drop a comment below. Are you struggling with the housing market too? Let's talk about it.